Of Talking Dead, and Chris Hardwick was really trying to tell Melissa McBride that it was like a terrible episode, but he didn't know how to do it. He was like, "Yeah, this episode was, I mean, you were good in it, but it was," and I was like, "Yeah, that's how everybody feels."
It was painful to watch, man. I mean, this episode was Carol and Daryl basically having it out again as friends, but this time separating and kind of dealing with their own drama on their own. Yeah. But again, I mean, we know all these episodes are supposed to be standalone, right? And next week's episode deals with Negan. Yeah. But these episodes, essentially nothing happens. I feel like I'm watching The Office.
No, I feel like the big thing is that they're supposed to be furthering the characters, but so that they're like fully ready for the last season, but they're not doing that. I think hands down this was the worst episode of The Walking Dead I've ever seen, and that's saying something.
I agree. Definitely the worst that I've seen. And it's just because it was just a bunch of nothing. I mean, I and you could, try and go all deep with it. Listen, we're not here. I mean, it's a deep show when it needs to be, but you don't have to get deep by searching for rats and busting up walls because you're upset. And at the end of the episode, when Carol was talking to Jerry, she did kind of explain what was going on. She's like, this is what happens when, your friends are supposed to be the only people who see the value in you, even when everybody else doesn't. Yeah. But it's like, she had to discover that then.
I mean, my notes are literally Carol and dog hunt a rat. Daryl ... question mark. What was Daryl doing? I mean, we know that he may have found some sort of military base because we see him dealing with all these walkers who are like U.S. maybe Marines or something, and he's like taking their stuff. But otherwise, like, I think Daryl's storyline was even more pointless than Carol's.
Yeah, I mean, he essentially found a pipe for his gas. His gas line had been cut.
Yeah.
But, I feel like they're taking, Grace Randolph was talking about the top 5 reasons to watch The Walking Dead. And some of her reasons were, obviously, if you've never gotten into The Walking Dead, now would be a good time because they're standalone episodes. You really don't have to know much in order to watch these. And she also said, I forget, but it's honestly, like there wasn't much there.
No, I kind of disagree too, because the reason that we got through this whole episode was because we know and already love Daryl and Carol. We've been through 10 seasons with them.
Sure.
If I was new to this, I'd be like, what the heck are these people doing in the woods? Why am I watching this?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I would have been tuned out. Yeah. Honestly, I would have been tuned out because nothing happened. There were no real stakes. Daryl got into it with a couple of walkers and the car and stuff. Carol totally went ham on a couple of walkers who had surrounded her, but essentially nothing happened. And I think that's kind of the problem with making these standalone episodes, is that you can't even build on the other episodes and pull from that to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess their idea was like, oh, we'll give the fans something to chew on until the final season. But honestly, as a fan, I'd rather have not had anything and then just started the
I totally agree. And that's hard to say.
It is hard to say.
We've been itching for these shows to come back. Yeah. But when you come back like this, you come back and we essentially get stories where nothing develops. Like nothing. I mean, and what's crazy? Some of these characters have been around for so long that we don't really need to learn anything more about them. Like, I think back to last week's episode, and you had Gabriel and Aaron.
Yeah.
And I always forget their names. They're not super important characters, but it's like we even knew them to the point where
we didn't need to know them anymore.
We didn't learn anything new.
No, I honestly think the best episode is going to be next week's episode, which is like the second season finale, and that will be Negan's origin story. Yeah. I think hands down that's going to be the best episode this season.
Yeah, and I think it might be one of the best episodes, period.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, The Walking Dead has been so dry for a long time, even all the way back to the beginning of season, 10? Yeah. We had some interesting things with Michonne finding out who Rick or where Rick is, and like little things with the whispers and all that stuff. And Negan's storyline, but honestly, I mean, I'm underwhelmed, man.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. I mean, are we crazy here? I don't think so. This has been a poor outing for The Walking Dead, and right now, Sydney and I, who have never watched Fear the Walking Dead, we've watched World Beyond and shows like that, but never really Fear, just a couple episodes here and there. Like, seeing the trailers for that, I was wishing that we were watching that. Morgan, it seemed like there was a story going, development and stakes, instead of like just, I mean, now the most interesting thing about this episode is that the dog chose to go with Carol instead of, you see it right there. He chose to go to Carol.
That wall, that was impressive show of strength, man. I've never seen a woman punch through sheetrock before. She got some like She-Hulk muscles going.
Oh my gosh.
But
it was insane. But if that's the best thing we have to come from the episode, it's like that's not a good episode.
Yeah, and
but
I get it. It's unfortunate, COVID happened right when they started. They have a new showrunner, like Michonne and Rick are not there. Like there's a lot of new things for TWD to deal with on top of COVID.
Sure.
But I just feel like as fans, like most TWD fans are diehard, so we're gonna stick around even when it sucks. We have stuck around, So I just feel like
it's never sucked like this. Episode
like they could have just taken their time and just given us what we asked for. Like
now,
good ending.
Yeah, and I think speaking of looking forward, let's talk about this Negan episode. So we have Negan's wife, we have the origin of Lucille.
Yeah.
So many different.
Wife's name Lucille?
I don't know.
I think his wife's name is Anne.
I didn't pay attention to his origin enough.
Anne, Grace, or Lucille.
Yeah, so one of those. Let us know in the comments below. But now we look like idiots in front of everyone. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so
one of those is right.
So we're looking forward to next week's episode where we get more information about Lucille, like I said, Negan's wife, and kind of how he became who he is. Now, bold prediction for next week. I think we're gonna find out that Negan killed his own wife.
You think he beat her to death maybe with Lucille?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that one. And I know he's given other explanations as to what happened with her, but I don't care. And that's what I'm going with. What about you?
Also, guys, just throwing out, we've not read, The Walking Dead, the comic books are usually about 100 episodes, 100 issues before the current episode. So we've not read that far ahead. In fact, I've read maybe 2 TWD comics. So we actually don't know anything about the comics in relation to the show.
Just making us look ignorant again there.
Sorry, just saying.
Why are you watching?
They definitely dealt with that, I'm sure, in the comic books. So it'll be interesting to see what the TV show universe does with that.
Yeah.
I might even throw out there that Negan's wife is alive. And maybe
now that would be interesting.
That is what's going to either take Negan off the show or it's going to mess him up so much that, I don't know, he becomes good-ish and Maggie doesn't want to kill him anymore. I don't know. I think that's something. I think the crazier, the better. I'm throw that out there.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, it's true. The crazier, the better, because
can't get worse than rats.
I've never almost fallen asleep during an episode.
Yeah, I had to drink some coffee.
And this was hard to watch, fans. So definitely looking forward to the next one. It's crazy that we go from some of the worst episodes I've ever seen to what could potentially be one of the best episodes of TWD ever. With finding out the origin. One of the best.
Yeah.
That would
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
That would go
all
into
right, calm down.
But obviously let us know if you're crazy. I know Chris Hardwick is probably trying very, very valiantly to make something, to muster up something for this episode, but we're giving it to you straight.
It sucks. That really hurts to say.
Especially on TWD.
Yeah.
But we're going to give it to you straight. Anyway, let us know, of course, as always, what you think down in the comments below of tonight's episode. If you liked it, if you didn't, if we're off, leave us a thumbs down. If you agree, leave us a like button and click the bell, because we got more shows coming your way. We've got Debris coming tomorrow, along with this 2-hour season finale of Snowpiercer. I'll be doing that with Zach from The Basement with Zach. He's on our sister channel, The Lotta Quente Ledger. We got Superman, Supergirl, the premiere, 6th and final season. We've got The Flash.
We've got Falcon Winter
Soldier.
Soldier.
So many shows. So check those out. And also, we're always taking suggestions down in the comments below. So if you want to see us cover anything, let us know. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'm Chris. That's Sid. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace. Peace.
Are we done?